The Way of the Warrior Kid. Boom. Listen up, parents. Teaching our kids resilience, discipline, and how to overcome their fears. I started reading this series by author Jocko Willink. Many of you are probably familiar with Jocko, New York Times best-selling author, former Navy SEAL. But my kids love these books. It's been incredible to watch them, how it's impacted them positively and empowered their mindset, resulting in action. And we've got a 7-year-old and a little guy that's turning 4 at the end of the month. So they're both enjoying it. I see the desire growing in them to want to implement these habits of discipline, exercise, healthy eating, mindset, right? Conflict resolution, and how to overcome fears. And so there's a series of those books that we've been going through. And then Jocko authored one on the side, which I'd like to highlight today, that has been really, really cool. Mikey and the Dragons. And in it is a story about a kid who's afraid of just about anything and everything. And he finds a book, and there's a story in the book that talks about an old kingdom and a king who died and a little prince who has to kind of step up to the plate and confront the dragons in the kingdom. But before the prince goes out to confront the dragons, he realizes he's been left with the responsibility, obviously, to lead the kingdom. And all the people are afraid, and they have all these ideas about the dragons in their mind, that they're, large, and they breathe fire, and they have sword-stopping scales and powerful razor-sharp tails, and they love to snack on people. And so, the legend is the king is there, and he confronts, keeps the dragons at bay. But now the prince, who is 7 years old in the story, has to step up to the plate. And he's got his own fears and his own worries and concerns to overcome. But his dad, the former king, left him a key. And inside of the chest, there is a written letter to his son, the prince. And I want to read this to you. It says, "To my son, if you are reading this now, it means I am gone, and you are the one that must carry on. Our kingdom is now what you must save, and to do that, you have to be brave. I know that you think you don't know what to do, but remember that I was once a little boy too. I was also small and had fear in my heart, and I didn't even know where to start. I couldn't imagine going over the hill to face the dragons that wanted to kill. But don't worry, son, you will be just fine if you can keep these things in your mind. The dragons, they aren't really that big at all. It's only in our minds that we make them so tall. Inside our brains, things always get overblown, especially things that are completely unknown. But when fear settles in and gets a hold of you, here are some things that you simply must do. Stand up straight and hold your head high and look at your fears right in the eye. Don't look away and don't try and hide. Know that you have great strength deep inside. When you stand up and go into the fray, you will feel your fears start to go away. And though there will be horror you feel, the things you are scared of are not a big deal. This is not to say you won't feel a scare. Fear is a feeling that all of us share. Fear is normal for every person on earth, but this is where a hero proves his worth. A coward runs away when danger is near, but a hero will face the thing that they fear. So that is what you must do, my son. Face the dragons and do not run. And I promise when you meet them, you will see that you are just as strong as me. The dragons that seem so mighty and mean are not ever as bad as they might seem. And most of things that fill you with dread are usually just made up in your head. Your father, the king." So I won't go on to give away the end of the story and the end of the book, but needless to say, the prince goes on to confront his fears. And as his Father the Wise King said, most of the fear lives inside of our head. And so not only has it been empowering to watch my kids begin to confront their fears, and obviously we understand, fears in children are oftentimes different from adults and the things that they struggle with, fear of the dark, right? Fear of make-believe monsters, so on and so forth. But oftentimes as adults, there are fears that we carry into our later lives. And a lot of those fears come from childhood trauma, childhood abuse, conflict, abandonment, rejection, broken relationship, broken family, whatever it might be. Those things take hold of us and they can cripple our lives as adults, and particularly cripple our mindset, cripple our belief system, and or limit and detriment our ability to build more healthy relationships, to build stronger rapport with people, and just to go through life with a positive mindset, because a lot of those times those fears are just lodged in the back of our mind. So as a parent, it's so inspiring, it's so encouraging to see and to teach our kids, begin to glean these disciplines and these habits. Again, the exercise, the eating healthy, the conflict resolution, everything. I wish my parents had read these books to me or taught these principles to me as a child. So as we learn and grow as parents, and we do things differently than our parents did before, we have this wonderful opportunity to pass on these leadership skills to our children. And ultimately, we all know, parents, that we lead by example. The greatest lessons that we can teach our kids is the lives that we live and lead, and our example, whether positive or negative. And, learning to apologize to our kids when we make mistakes, learning to, initiate healthy communication. And like we mentioned, the conflict resolution, there's just so many different things that we learn as parents. I mean, our kids teach us so much, do they not, about the power of unconditional love and forgiveness that we can implement in our own lives. So if you have kids, if you have little kids, I encourage you, go out and get these books, Way of the Warrior Kid, and particularly the one on fear, Mikey and the Dragons by Jocko Willink. Just a great way to spend quality time with your kids reading. We know that readers are leaders. It goes without saying. So get your kids started early, encourage them, do this with them, and then just encourage them to implement these habits and principles. And just by nature, their excitement and inspiration by, the stories and the characters in here, they will do so. So hope that helps you guys. Happy holidays, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.